Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Vosk of the VoskCoin YouTube channel. Today I'm here to show you how to build a ZenCash mining rig. So to mine ZenCash, it's on the Equihash algorithm, and you need a GPU miner. So we're going to build a GPU miner today, and while a GPU miner can mine many different currencies, this is going to be specifically about mining ZenCash and how to set it up to mine ZenCash. Alright everyone, so if you check out my channel, you may also find my how to build a GPU mining rig video with the Trio build. This is a Trio build, okay, so it's a Gigabyte board, Z270P-D3, which is a 6 GPU capable board. But the power supply we use only allows us to use 3 different cards, roughly. And we are not going to be using risers today, but if you would like to use risers, then you would be able to make this have 6 cards. Basically, you're going to build a rig today that is only for 3 cards, but you can expand it to 6 cards in the future by only adding a few parts and also a much bigger chunk to your budget. So with that in mind, you need to add another PSU in addition to an add to PSU, which allows both of these PSUs to function together in unison, or you can sell this power supply. A PSU is a power supply unit, aka power supply. First, we need a board. You don't need a board. You could just set it sitting there. You could put it, my buddy puts them on styrofoam. You can make a custom rack for it. There's a lot of stuff you can do. I just take a piece of plywood. Shout out to Phil for the whole design for that, the Bitcointalk forum. And I take that, I drill it out, and I just plop that board right on there. It's freaking awesome. Perfect for this. These felt pieces act as a space between the wood and the board. Right on top of that is a power switch. You click it, it turns on. You hold it, or you click it, and it turns back off. In these 2 little boxes, you can see screws and spacers. Nice. Behind that, we've got the heavy hitters, the 1080 Ti's, and they've got a 4-year warranty. Above that, we've got the processor G4400, G4400. You can get the T model if you can find them, but normally they're kind of ridiculously priced lately. They save a little bit of power. And then also to the right, we have a GeForce GTX 1070, aka Zotac Mini. Okay, 1070 is the best bang for buck, has the cards lately. And then to the right of that, we're going to have a Lexar 32GB jump drive USB S75 model, USB 3.0. Basically, that's going to be our hard drive. And right next to that, we have a piece of stick of RAM, DDR4 2400, 4 gigabytes. All right, so we're going to take 6 of these. Luckily, 6 dropped out. We're going to need 6 spacers, nylon spacers, and we're going to need 6 screws. That was also 6 screws. That's pretty lucky. We also need felt spacers. Okay, so got some more over here, already pre-cut. All the links to all these parts are in the description below. So if you want them, you can get them. So I'm just going to line these up basically in the outline of the board. And time lapse 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so you can see, I went ahead and prepped all the other parts, basically just took them out of the box, nothing crazy there. On the motherboard, I popped off the CPU socket cover. Okay, so you can see everything is lined up on here. And we're just going to place the board lined up with the holes. So it's pretty easy to see, you can just look through. Looks good, looks good, looks good. Awesome. So we're going to take these screws, just pop them through. Alright, so we're just going to go ahead and screw these in. Make sure they're even. Across the board, literally. That way you don't see the board flexing in any particular way. As you can see, it's pretty flat here across the board. Again, literally, come on, good jokes here. So we're gonna pop this back. I already popped off this little plastic cover on here. And you're gonna take your CPU and line it up. So normally it doesn't come in a bag like this, but I bought this one used. You're gonna take your CPU. And you're gonna line up the letters on it with the orientation of the board. And just kinda pop it in there. It's got a little indents on it that's gonna make you line it up properly. So you're gonna put that down and pop this into place, securing your CPU. your next step is you will install the CPU fan. You'll see it packaged just like this. You pop it out of that one. And I plug it right into the CPU fan slot, so I orient the fan this way. And you just line up the little legs on it. Go ahead and pop that in. And I just push down, you hear it click. Sometimes you need to wiggle them a little bit. And you'll feel a slight indentation on the side here. It means you're below it. It's not supposed to be flush with this top ring. It's going to be slightly below. Now a little wire management here. So however you want to do it. These wires aren't just going to suicide themselves. But what I do is I tuck them like that. And then I pull them back into this guard. So there's no way these wires can get hit. We're going to drop our RAM stick to a slot number 4, I believe it's 4 here, to the 4-1. Either way, it's the top slot, the farthest away on the board. You can see the writing on the back of this Ballistix RAM. It's going to be facing you. You're going to hear it click into place. There's an indentation in the middle of the stick that stops you from aligning it in properly. Also, if you're wondering what a riser looks like, you know what it is. This is a riser. So basically it is this slot, this PCIe slot, where your graphics cards goes into, and you can put this somewhere else. You know, say I wanted to run it over here and use these cables, stick it here, and it would then function properly from a different location. So right now, we're gonna focus on just running the boards off of the motherboard. So this is the Behemoth Aorus card. Do not recommend this card for this build. The reason I don't recommend these cards for this build is because they're giant. So they're simply not going to work. I had another set of cards on order for this video, but Labor Day, shipping, everything kind of got messed up. So I don't recommend this card at all for this build. However, I have them here for a different build I'm working on, and my Asus blower fan cards that I have in the mail have not arrived yet. So you haven't seen this much before. It's going to be pretty confusing. This is an ATX power supply, basically a power supply that just goes in any computer standard issue size. So this is 1 VGA cable, 2 VGA cable, 3 VGA cable. These VGA cables are the power supply cables to your graphics cards, aka the workhorses of your miner. We also have a CPU cable. This powers your board. It plugs into your board. Then you have these 2 cables feed to 1 motherboard cable, 24 pin. Pin means basically these little slots. Okay, so there's 24 slots on here. Don't get tripped up. This stuff is really confusing if you're new. It's very simple, and all these cords in the EVGA power supplies are labeled, so you can do it. These are all the cords you need to set up a Trio mining rig. So with the Trio design, I've been testing every 1080 Ti that I can get my hands on if they'll fit on this. And I finally found a card that does not fit properly on this. And due to the dimensions I saw online, I kind of was thinking that it wouldn't. But I mean, you don't know until you try. So here we are. As you can see, this is a massive card. Most 1080 Ti's are not this big, especially like just all the, you know, $700-ish blower cards. So you take this card and you put it here where it's supposed to go. If you look, it entirely covers the third full-size PCIe slot, which is imperative to the design we're using. I didn't mind that these didn't fit, because if you want a 6-card rig, you have to use what are called the risers, which we talked about, and they simply plug into the slot like so. And they can plug into the small slots and the large full-size slots, just like that. So if you focus here, you can see that This is a full-size card. Well, it's a mini, but it's still a full-size card, but it's a smaller full-size card. But anyway, focus guys, focus. This is what it looks like mounted on a riser. And normally people build mining rigs, or like mining rig frames, I mean to say. I don't have a nice fancy mining rig frame here to show you today, but I've been exploring some options and some templates to build your own. I'm not exactly sure which way I want to go with that. So I'm just going to show it set up here, and just imagine if that was like some super cool, awesome mining rig frame that it's mounted onto instead of just kind of sitting on a piece of wood. So after you get it set up, you're going to plug all the power cables in. You need to plug in the motherboard cable, the CPU cable, and the PCIe cable to power the GPU. In addition to that, I should have mentioned this earlier, you have the power switch. We had not plugged the power switch in yet. So this is the main little board right here. It's very simple on this board. You see the red? It's all color coded in here. I'll zoom you in. And this red slot is where it goes. Just that simple. You're gonna put the metal, so the back of it, facing the majority of the board, the text down, oriented away from you and the board. So just like everything else. It's very easy. As you saw, it literally just slides in. There's also a little tool in the motherboard box that is color coded, and it shows you exactly what these are. You put them on top, you put the piece on top, and it's like, this is this, this is this, this is this. You take that piece off, and now you know what everything is without looking at a manual. Nice little quick access piece. Our next step is we need to install the operating system, which we're going to use a custom version of Linux called nvOC, which is a custom-based Nvidia only mining software developed on the Linux platform by a Bitcointalk member by the name of fullzero. This guy is phenomenal. There's no fees built into the software in comparison with SMOS, which is Simple Mining Operating System, which is a very good and well-known and awesome, super stable mining system. However, this is what we're using today. In the links below, you'll be able to download anything you need as far as the OS and the programs I use to write it onto the USB and edit it. We are going to be editing this OS on Windows. Once we get the OS written on there, I always do a test boot with just one card. After I make sure all the components are working properly, I proceed to add the other cards to the board.
Alright guys, so you're going to plug your USB into your computer, obviously. It's going to pop up here as Lexar or whatever USB you use drive. We're going to come over here to the HDD raw copy tool. It's going to give you that little notification, and this is the file selection. So we're going to select the file, and then we're going to select the USB. This is your target, okay? So your target to write is USB. And if you saw earlier, I showcased a 32 gigabyte USB, but I'm writing a 16. This is to show you that you can use a 16 gigabyte USB drive. So you just click start, and it's going to lock the device down, and it's going to begin writing. It lags a little bit in the beginning, and it may take a little bit longer because it's rewriting right now and it's not a fresh drive. And also a 32 gigabyte writes faster than a 16 gigabyte, at least in the case of these Lexar drives. As you can see, once it gets going, it really gets going. And we're just going to leave this here, let it write. Shouldn't take too long. Alright guys, so now it's finished writing. As you can see, let's see, we started at 10:16 and it finished at 10:23. Pretty fast, especially for 16 gigabyte, as the 32 gigabytes write even faster than that. So we're going to go ahead, close that out, and we're going to navigate our way over to USB drive D for me, but it's whichever is the top USB drive for you. And I've already downloaded and installed NotePad++. Again, both these download links are in the description below. Originally, you're going to have to hit open with and navigate to NotePad++. Now I just right click and I click edit with, so it pulls us here. And we are going to be setting this up to mine, again, ZenCash. So step 1, we're going to navigate to coin. And the answer is Zen. So go through all this stuff. I'll make another video breaking down nvOC, especially the newest 19 version in the future. But for right now, we're just going to worry about what we need to worry about. So coin equals Zen. So we're going to scroll down. You see manual fan is already set, preset to yes and 75. That's what we want. We're going to keep scrolling down. All this stuff's important, but you can ignore it for now. Your worker name. We're going to set that up as BetaWolf for testing purposes. And then you're also going to copy and paste your ZenCash address. If you need one, head over to the ZenCash official website, zensystem.io or zencash.io. You can download the Swing wallet. Great wallet, good wallet. I have a video tutorial on setting it up. Otherwise, you can go to the Bittrex website, set up an account with them, and generate a ZenCash wallet on their website side. I recommend the Swing wallet over the Bittrex wallet because it gives you full control on your end. However, if you're looking for the easiest, quickest setup, the Bittrex website and generating a web wallet on their setup is also easy. And there's also the Web Zen wallet, which you can check out the link to that below. Another good option. So grab your newly created ZenCash wallet address, drop it right there, and if you want the easiest setup, just leave it on ZenMine Pro. Personally, I'm moving my rig over to a luck pool. So you just go to luck pool like this. Make sure you're selected on Zen. See the pool hash here. You're going to click connect at the top, and you're going to come down here. This is the GPU normal diff setting, which is what we want. It's very easy to type in. I could really just type it in. I should have just typed it in. So we're going to copy and paste that. And the port is 3057. So now we're set up on the coin we want to mine and the pool we want to mine on. So now we're going to scroll down here, and we're going to make it all the way down past all these settings to individual power limit. Okay. Now, if you're using the same exact parts and setup, GPU 0 is going to be a 1080 Ti, and we want that power limit to be 200 or 175. It's up to you. The next option, GPU 1, is actually going to be the third card, which is the mini. We're going to set that power limit to 125. That's kind of the sweet spot we've found. And finally, the other 1080 Ti will register as 2. Again, we're going to put 200 as the power limit for that. Make sure that you've changed the individual power limit equals yes. Other than that, you're good to go. You're set up. You're all set. You're going to click save, and you're going to just come down here, click that, and eject USB flash drive. Once it's ejected, you're good to go to install it into your rig.
Alright guys, so now we've got everything assembled. We've got the mining hardware, and it's actually a different day. I've got a different shirt on because I got tied up on some BS yesterday. So let's finish this video up, guys. Alright, so if you look right here, we've got the rig. And you should always test boot it on just one card on the board to begin with. Make sure everything is functioning properly. I did that. It checked out. We're good to go. So now I've added 2 cards to the board, but one is added through a riser that we talked about earlier. And this is really just because these cards don't fit on the board, which is why I test these things, so I don't just say, hey, go buy any 1080 Ti, because this 1080 Ti is too big. So, but again, this works with countless, I'm talking at least 10 plus other 1080 Ti's. And all those are listed below. And again, look, here's footage of a freaking 20 rigs doing this with no problems. So again, let's fire it up. Just click the power button like that, and you'll see the boot sequence initiate. nvOC 19 boots rapidly compared to the other versions that I've used. I believe he may have increased the boot speed in version 18, but I never really played around with that. I used 15, 16, and 17. So you can see the motherboard screen will flash, right? And you'll also notice your cards, some of them will spin, the fans, some of them won't. Don't worry about that. Sometimes people freak out. They're like, my card's not working. It's just chilling right now. It's no big deal. It's all good in the hood. So you see the Ubuntu screen flash there for a second, and then you're going to be slapped in the face with your dashboard. So if you look, everything's popping up here. Boom, boom, boom. It's loading fast. And so if you want to watch the miner in screen, a new command, I was doing a little research on that, but basically you just click the Gwake terminal, and that'll bring up this screen, and you'll type screen space R miner, and that's going to bring you up, and you can see the current pool. you can see we are good to go. We've registered 3 cards here, and now we are successfully mining on the pool. If you scroll up in this window, you will see that the cards have registered correctly, and then below you'll also see the power limits have been adjusted. So this had a power limit of 151 built in. We adjusted that to 125 watts. Now this has changed a little bit in 19, so you're going to click this folder menu here, and you're going to tab over to the one bash, or click over, and if you want to make any editing, adjusting, if you don't want to edit your settings on Windows, you can do them all right here very easily in Linux. The first time you boot up, it's just going to start mining on fullzero's account, and then you're going to need to change the settings to mine what you want to mine. For example, there's Zen. You can change all the settings here, manual fan speed, and so on. Same exact format as we saw on Windows. Here's my worker, my wallet, my pool port. We're scrolling down here, and if you want to change individual power limit, that would be yes, and this is what we're looking at. Again, the exact same thing that we just looked at, but super easy to do right here on Linux. If it's your first time, it might be easier to do it this way. Or you can just take the plunge on Windows, and I think that's just a little bit easier because it's plug and play access to the mining right there. So, you know, just gonna go ahead and close that out, and you can see that is just mining away. So you can see right here that the miner is already showing up, registering as mining properly on Lug Pool. This has only been a couple minutes, maybe 3 minutes at the most. It registers pretty much instantly on this pool and a lot of other pools as well, but if your miner doesn't register for 15 to 20 minutes, don't panic. Sometimes it takes about that long, especially like with fly pool. Fly pool takes a while, but I mean, you can see right here we're already up and mining. Always make sure to double check you're mining correctly on the pool, because you could be mining on the pool, but make sure you're mining to your address and there's no typos or anything like that, because it'd be a shame if you left your rig mining overnight and it wasn't set up properly, like I did on my first rig. That was a little frustrating. Alright guys, so there you have it. That's how you set up a ZenCash mining rig, and really just a GPU mining rig in general, and a quick basis on editing the software / nvOC. This is Tails, our premium video content editor. She's recently been promoted. If you guys found this video helpful and informative, please make sure to subscribe to the VoskCoin YouTube channel. If you didn't, let me know why, so I can improve on future videos and everything like that. So again, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.